Hello everybody, welcome to the 5 worst man-made disasters, and coming in at number 5 is Big Zerka's massive head.
You could have gone with Ethan
God.
Bazinga's 6-foot earthquake, but you know.
No, that head is a monstrosity. Josh's parents should be ashamed.
Rumor has it it's pulling the Earth out of orbit.
Exactly, you're bang on. It's actually creating the greenhouse effect, that head.
Do you reckon it was that big, like, at birth?
Yeah, well, mate, I heard that he couldn't stand up and support himself for years. Anyway, yeah, 5 worst man-made disasters. Let's see it.
A lot of things that happen on this planet that are simply out of our control. Try as we might to dominate everything around us. At the end of the day, we are constantly at the mercy
Early
of
shout
natural
for
disasters.
Chernobyl #1,
But
by the way.
Not
Just
all
early shout.
disasters are the fault
Chernobyl's
of
good,
nature.
Yeah,
In
it's a good one.
fact, some of the
Hiroshima.
most
Good series
devastating
too. Good
disasters
series
are
too.
Very
simply
good
the
doc.
fault of human error and negligence. Had a little more care been taken, many of these catastrophes could have been
What was
avoided.
it, man-made?
From oil spills to chemical factories,
Ooh,
here are
oil
5
spills are
of
good
the
shout.
worst man-made disasters
Remember
in
the
human
Lebanon
history.
explosion? That was nuts.
Yes, the Lebanon one was nuts. The Twitter videos were outrageous.
The
Yeah.
Deepwater Horizon was a decade-old semi-submersible drilling rig that was stationed in the Gulf of Mexico. The purpose of this structure was to drill an exploratory well over 18,000 feet below sea level. It
Humans
was a
just
fairly
be out here
standard operation
doing
that
shit.
was
We're
run
really fucking
successfully
up the world.
for many
Greedy
years.
as fuck.
However,
Bro, it's just out here
trying to make a
fucking
bag.
for the worst
Killed
on
fucking
April
5 million
20th,
fish. Oh well.
2010, at 9:45
fish.
p.m.
Unlucky.
Central Time.
Hold
A
that.
burst of water
Game of the game
erupted
fish.
from the marine riser and onto the rig. This was followed by a combination of mud, water, and worst of all, methane gas.
Oh,
It
no.
wasn't long after this
Not
that the
meth,
methane
eh?
gas caught fire and exploded. During all of this, 126 crew members were on board. They immediately knew something was wrong because they could feel 2 strong vibrations and the electric lights on
Long
board
day,
began
man.
to flicker. The
Yeah.
crew members had less than 5 minutes to evacuate the structure.
Yeah, what do you
Out
do?
of the 126 people on board,
Well, I imagine they have, like, lifeboats and stuff, right?
Yeah, I assume so. Would jumping in the water make you safe or not?
I don't
Is that
know.
a silly thing to say?
Have you seen they have these crazy like slide things? Have you seen them where you slide like in a zigzag, but you can go down really fast, but not too fast? It's quite sick.
Well, like a plane kind of thing.
Yeah, it's almost
Zigzag.
no. It's like a play. You know, like in a play park, they have like where you go down and it like it's hard to describe, but yeah.
Sounds good, man.
11 individuals lost their lives.
It doesn't look
By
like
the
it.
time
Nope.
April
Fucking hell.
22nd came around, the entire rig had sunk into the sea.
Christ.
That
This
must be
was
terrifying.
also the date in which the Coast Guard
Imagine just being in
discovered
the
that
sea
oil
and the land
continued
that
to
you were
leak
on is
from the
gone.
rig at a rate of roughly 8,000 barrels per day. 2
Jeez.
remote-operated underwater vessels were sent to try to cap the well, but those efforts proved to be unsuccessful. Next, BP tried to place a 280,000-pound containment dome over the leak. While it is a technique that's useful in shallow water, it too failed here. It wasn't until
God.
July 15th, almost 3 months after the initial
That's a
incident,
fish.
that the well was finally closed and the leak stopped. An investigation into the incident soon followed. In June of 2010, the House Committee on Energy and Commerce said that BP should have used cement at the well. It would have cost the company $128,000 and would have taken between 8 and 12 hours to complete. A more thorough investigation found that 6 different
I mean, hindsight
operations,
is pretty
equipment
useful.
functions, and
I was about to say that,
tests
innit? You can't really, like, can't punish someone on hindsight.
I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like they cut corners though. It sounds like they were trying
Yeah,
to save
yeah.
Didn't
money
they say
and
that they
save
put,
time.
they put a 280,000-pound bubble around it and it didn't work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
more
them.
than the cement.
He said how long the cement would take, and my guess is they were like, oh shit, we need this active in 4 weeks. We can't wait 8 to 12 weeks for the cement. Let's just run it anyway. That's always
It's
how
8 to
this
12
shit
hours,
goes.
no?
Yeah, it was 8 to 12 hours. It.
Fixed it
Was
was
it?
12 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cement was hours, yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So I think, if anything, they actually put too much effort in.
Exactly.
I think we should reward them.
okay, bro.
Oh, press play.
in the 32 hours preceding the explosion. In July
Surely
of
it kills the
2015,
fish, right? Methane
BP
kills the
agreed
fish.
to pay
Good.
18.7
Jesus
billion
Christ.
billion barrels.
making it the biggest corporate
20
settlement
billion
in the
settlement.
history of the United States.
Like
Should
Amber
have just
Heard.
wrapped up.
On the night spanning December
Call of
2nd
Duty
and
game, innit?
3rd,
Like Dead by Daylight.
one of the worst industrial disasters in the history of the world took place. It was on that evening an accident occurred at the Union Carbide pesticide plant located in Bhopal, India. This event released a minimum of 30 tons of an incredibly toxic gas known as methyl isocyanate, in addition to numerous other poisonous gases into the local environment. Sadly, many shanty towns were located in the immediate vicinity of the plant. In total, over 600,000 people were exposed to a deadly cloud of gas that night. These particular gases tend to remain deadly cloud of gas.
Look at him. I think the gas hit him first.
Bro, if he's running safety, it's no wonder something went wrong.
He's fucked. He's done for.
He's got one here.
These particular gases tend to remain fairly low to the ground. Countless people reported feeling nauseous and that their eyes and throats began to burn. And unfortunately, many people lost their lives in the aftermath. Estimates of the gas leak's death toll range from 3,800 to 16,000.
Oh my God.
And many people still suffer physical and emotional scars from that night. However, much of the health data related to the incident is still not available. The Indian Council of Medical Research was forbidden from publishing data in regards to the gas leak until 1984.
I don't like it when shit like that happens.
The disaster occurred as a result of water entering a tank filled with methyl isocyanate. This led to a chemical reaction causing the temperature inside the tank to reach over 392 degrees Fahrenheit. There are two main arguments as to why this happened.
Yeah, I don't like it.
The first is that the Union Carbide India Limited chemical plant was already in very poor condition, was under-maintained, and had broken dozens of safety regulations prior to this incident. The other side of the argument is that it is not physically possible for water to have entered the tank on its own, and that human effort had to play a role. Criminal and civil cases were filed in the United States against UCC and Warren Anderson, who was the CEO of the company at the time of the disaster. However, these cases were repeatedly redirected and dismissed to Indian courts several times from 1986 to 2012.
There's some fish going on.
2018,
Pay to not get
efforts
arrested.
to clean up the area remains.
That's like, imagine also like the people in like those shanty towns, like people you know like died and like you're scarred for life or like ill for life from this. Can't do anything. Like there's nothing you can do. Like it's nuts how many rights we have compared to people in other countries.
That was deep.
Chemical plant explosions happen all over the world, like this one that occurred at a Texas chemical plant back in 2013.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
But one of, if not the worst
I think I've
to
seen this
ever
one.
happen, was the Gyllen chemical plant explosion. The Gyllen chemical explosion actually consists of a series of blasts that took place on November 13th,
We are silly playing with
in
nuclear
Gyllen
stuff,
City,
aren't we?
China.
Yeah.
That's
Over
not
the
even
period
nuclear.
Of a single
It's just
hour,
chemical.
numerous explosions occurred at the number 101 petrochemical plant that resulted in 6 deaths and dozens of injuries. 2 days after the explosions, it was determined that the accident site had a nitration unit for aniline equipment. One tower was jammed up and not handled properly, which ultimately led to the explosions. These blasts were so powerful that they completely shattered windows that were at least 650 feet away. Fires built up from the blasts that were not put out until the following day. More than 10,000 individuals had to be evacuated out of fear that more explosions could have been imminent.
Yeah, a long day, man.
While initial reports thought that the explosion could have occurred as a result of terrorism, the company stated that it was a result of a chemical blockage that had not been fixed. The fallout from the explosions lasted more than just that day. It significantly polluted the nearby Sangwa River. An estimated 100 tons of pollutants, including nitrobenzene and benzene, entered the river.
There's so many names in there, man.
Has been linked
I don't
with
understand half
leukemia
these
and
things.
reduced red blood cell counts. The contaminants gradually flowed into
it's
the
got a
Strait
very
of
long name, we
Tartary
probably
and then
shouldn't be drinking
eventually
it.
into the Sea of Japan.
Yeah.
The effects of the explosion also made their way to Russia. On December 16th of that year, the toxic slick that had entered the water arrived in the city of Khabarovsk. Granted, the slick was severely diluted by this point, but Russia prepared by digging extra wells and storing clean water before the slick reached the city.
The crafty Russians.
Smart. We'll be Chernobyl time soon.
The Great Smog of 1952 refers to a significant air pollution event
That's
that
gotta be number
overtook
one.
the city of London in early December of
wow. Great Smog.
1952. It was marked by a period of unusually cold weather, including windless and anti-cyclone conditions. However, those factors didn't create the event all their own, or
Is it
else this
toxic?
entry wouldn't make it on the list of man-made disasters.
I don't think
Much
toxic, I
of the
just
smog
don't
was
think it's
due to
great for you.
collected airborne pollutants, mostly due to the city's heavy reliance on coal. While there had been smog events in the past, nothing was on the same scale as this. It resulted in a huge disruption
nuts.
by limiting people's
is
visibility.
mad.
The smog even made its way into indoor areas. Government reports that were made in the weeks that followed found that nearly 4,000 people died as a result of the
Fucking hell.
smog, while an additional 100,000 people suffered illnesses. It was the worst smog event in the country's history. So much so that it led to many changes in regulations and practices. The most important
Classic
item
humans.
to come
Wait
out
till
of this
something
event
goes wrong
is the
before you
Clean
do
Air
anything.
Act of 1956, which introduced numerous measures to severely limit air pollution in the area. There were mandates calling for smokeless fuels, particularly in high population
We are
regions.
tapped, aren't we?
The bill has
We are,
undergone
we are.
modifications
Idiots.
over the years, as well as a full repeal when the Clean Air Act came into effect in 1993. Luckily, nothing like London's Great Smog has occurred since.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Chernobyl
go.
time.
Here we go.
The Minamata Disaster has one of the most ominous
going on?
openings
What?
out of any man-made disaster ever. In the
I feel scammed.
mid-1950s,
What is this
people in the
list?
small Japanese town
This
of
is fucked.
Minamata began to notice cats going crazy and falling into the sea. Many
Right.
believed the cats
No one
were
cares about that.
intentionally committing suicide. However, the ailment that afflicted the cats soon made its way to people. Residents reported feeling numb in the lips and limbs. Many began to have problems seeing or hearing. And just like the
Lead
cats,
poisoning?
many people appeared to be going crazy and shouting uncontrollably. Something was affecting their nervous systems. It took until
not
July
gonna lie,
of
I hate stock
1959
footage.
for the source of these ailments to be
Yeah.
located. It all came down to people developing high levels of mercury poisoning,
Ooh.
which has since been named
You were close.
Minamata
What'd you say?
disease.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
immediate
I'll take it.
attention turned to a huge petrochemical plant run by the Chiso Corporation that was dumping large amounts of mercury into the Minamata Bay. When the
What is
fishermen
that? What is that
protested the
footage?
Chiso Corporation, the corporation
fishing,
made
man.
people sign deals. These documents stated that the company would compensate individuals for their illnesses, but they would not accept any present or future liability. A lot of townspeople, assuming this would be the only way to receive any amount of compensation, signed the paperwork. It took until 1968 for Chiso to stop poisoning the waters around Minamata. In 2004, Japan's Supreme Court ordered the government to pay 71.5 million yen, which comes out to about 703,000 American dollars to the disease victims
not
of
that much.
Minamata.
I was gonna
In
say that's actually not
2010,
much.
Chiso was ordered to
Considering what
pay
they've
an
done.
additional 2.1 million yen in monthly medical allowances for those still suffering. All those decades later, and that small town still feels the impact of one company's negligence. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to click the link on screen.
bit of a
to
weird
check
way
out
to
our
end
video
it.
about
I was
the
about to
5
say,
I
I
enjoyed
don't-
finding out about all
I don't know if I
that were
enjoyed
made
it,
ill.
brother. Yeah,
I
don't
found
know if
it
I enjoyed
interesting, but I wouldn't say I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.